Uh, this is not financial advice.
Anyway, in other news, CEO of Binance US, Brian Brooks, resigns just 3 months into the job. I found this interesting. That's why I kind of brought it up. Brian Brooks used to be the SEC chairman under Trump,
And he just
and
took a
then
job with Binance and
and
then bailed.
he took a job with finance at like the end of April, beginning of May, I believe.
That's
He
kind
only
of
lasted.
curious, isn't it?
It is, and Binance has been getting beat up pretty bad, man, from all these other countries and regulations. I don't know if you followed any of that.
I mean, I've heard a little bit here and there, but
Yeah. Well, on August 6th, Brian Brooks, chief executive of the U.S. arm of the global cryptocurrency exchange Binance, said on Friday that he had resigned just 3 months after taking up the role. The former U.S. banking regulator and crypto enthusiast is resigning at a time when regulators in Hong Kong, Britain, Germany, Japan, Italy, Thailand all have cracked down on Binance due to the worries over its investor protection. Actually, on a side note, now that I'm thinking about it, Bybit, because of this kind of foresight of this regulatory stuff that's going on and the heat that these guys have been taking, Bybit and there's a couple other exchanges. They're toning down that leverage trading. Remember
oh yeah,
I used to complain about the
right,
100x. That shit has got to go. You know,
yeah.
that's 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 that
That's
destroys markets and stuff like that. Well, they toned it down to, I don't know what it is, but it's something a little more reasonable. I don't believe any of it should be legal, but
right,
maybe it's down to 5x now or 10x, but they're not going to allow the 100x leverage trading anymore,
right.
which I think is a big step in the right direction. More important than all of this shit as far as a legitimate. And then when they get the ETF, see, they put through. They're talking about ETFs, and there's two different kinds, and the Brian, not the Brian Brooks, but the Gary Gensler, the new SEC, said that he was open to talks about the futures trading, which is paper Bitcoin.
Right.
And it's the same bullshit as, it's not actually backed by Bitcoin, or people ain't actually trading or buying Bitcoin.
Right. It's sort of like silver on paper.
Yeah,
There's not actually
kind of.
silver backing it, right?
See, at least with the investment fund like Grayscale, when that's kind of a back door. Like they don't have an ETF, but they have this fund. So basically, you have this entity that buys a shit ton of crypto, and they're invested in Bitcoin. They buy Bitcoin, and you can kind of roundabout way get exposure to Bitcoin by investing in that company. That's why that's kind of a backdoor way to an ETF. But at
Right.
least they hold the asset. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Trading Bitcoin, basically, you guys are just gambling. It's just a game like Bitcoin and whatever. You got the particular project over here, and these guys are just gambling on the price over here.
Right.
It has nothing to do with them buying or selling or actually holding the real asset. It's no different than gold, and so it's that same bullshit game.
Right.
It's not real Bitcoin, you know. So I hope they do get the real ETF, not futures trading.
I will mention that so I obviously just got back off of a vacation. I spent time with family, and one of my family members works for one of the like a pretty major 401k company. And I won't mention the name just because I didn't ask him permission, but he said that they were looking into a Bitcoin ETF and trying to make it happen.
Yeah, they have.
And it was interesting to me because my expectation during the visit would have been that he completely poo-pooed crypto. And I mean, he definitely, it's that typical like financial consultant, you got to be careful, it's super volatile, I mean, that's his job, right? But at the same time, it was like he could see that it was going like crypto blockchain, it's happening. And like he accepts it, which was actually more than I thought I would hear out of
It's
him.
'cause-
So,
it's because them people in them circles are using words like ETFs.
right,
Oh, now it's a sophisticated, you know what I mean? It's not
right.
the
But
backyard.
if that gets us in the door, you know, to being accepted, is that okay? You know,
I
this is
Yeah,
happening.
I guess, but you know, it's I don't know. In a way, it's still frustrating a little bit because
Yeah.
most of these people they don't understand it at all. They just don't understand it. And I get
Mhm.
into that other guy later on,
Mm.
and he,
I don't want to sidetrack this too much, but I will say that I explained NFTs to him while he was here, and I could see his brain go like he got that, he fully
yeah.
understood that.
Well,
So
that's the same thing. I mean, if you can get that, just picture an NFT being a dollar bill. You
right,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Except for they're fungible, not non-fungible. You know, and it's not just $1 bill. You have 21 million of them.
right,
You know,
yeah. All right, so back to Brian Brooks.
Brian
Um,
Brooks. Yeah.
so obviously he didn't give a reason for leaving.
No, he refused to comment, and I mean they threw out the regular bullshit. I hope everybody wish the best to whatever, and they did the same thing, said the same thing, but both of them refused to. Binance and Brian Brooks both refused to comment on anything else. So I just thought it was interesting. I don't know what the hell's going on. He's the
Interesting.
guy that I used to follow quite intently last year, especially with uh, the XRP and a
Right,
lot of these guys used to rub elbows.
right,
If you follow any of the XRP stuff, they're some XRP maximalists that are just over the top. They play Sherlock Holmes and Columbo or whatever, and they investigate everything and sometimes I think they're connecting dots that just
Mm.
ain't necessarily need to be connected, or I think they're wishing and hoping at that point. But some of them really do their homework, and they're right on a lot of stuff. There's I remember Trump's daughter or her husband or whatever, he was rubbing elbows with people from XRP, and this guy seemed like you got this just web of these people that are related to crypto. They're kind of oozing their way into politics and stuff like
right.
that. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the coming days.